Okay, hey there guys, so in today's war we're up against New Nation for the second time this season to round off the third week, or the 9th war. So, this is a very big war for GT40. I'm recording this a little bit later in the day than I have been the past few, so I don't know if you guys have already seen the results. But we'll just go with the assumption that you haven't. So, to start this war off, GT40 is in first. New Nation is actually in second, which I'll be 100% honest, going into this war, I didn't quite know that. I've been bad about paying attention to scores for a while, and I don't know, there was this little sheet going around, and I just never kept seeing New Nation, I guess, on there. So they like snuck in my mind, so we were told to boost as best as we can, and well, this is my best as I can boost. It's really just putting on a 30. So as you see here, I'm going down path 7 first, and I'm putting on everything I can. Path 7 here, of course, has a fair bit of power gain with like power efficiency and then vivified, so I'm throwing on the greater special 3 boost just in case something weird happens, but I don't think I'll need it, but I'm going to use it. Throwing on my tech boosts because I'm using Ghost again, as you saw from the lineup. It's a team I've used a couple times now. Anytime I get to use Ghost, I'm pretty much happy. So for Mangog, my strategy going in is don't parry. If I just don't parry at all, this fight will be easy. If I do parry, try to just keep moving on and get to my SP2, because right as I get that SP2, I've got my suicides, I got my power back boosts, I have my boosts, right? This will be fine. And I wanted to get through Kingpin on this boost. That was my goal. I had to just get through both fights on this power start one, because as you see, I'm running very low on them. And I want to conserve it for next week, because we'll likely have a couple tough wars again, so I need to have 2 in the bank there as well. So, going into this Mangog fight, as I said, just don't parry, get to my SP2s. And he starts off at passive by going off, but then he comes in, and he was a little bit late there, and I got a little bit scared at the last second, so I ended up blocking. But it was so last second, my block, that I ended up actually parrying him. But I got to do an extra combo to push myself in, and as you see, I actually right there. So, sometimes with Ghost, I'll just take a second to explain this. Sometimes with Ghost, right, her sig ability, you phase and it throws. So if you let them dash in too far, sometimes by the time you dash and throw, it actually counts the phased hit, so you throw SP3, which is really bad. So right there, I knew I needed to wait a split second for him to start dashing, but I had to not throw it so late that I got the one phased hit. So that's a little tip for playing Ghost, is that if you get up that high, you have to throw it on their way in. You can't let them get too close to you, or else it'll actually push you to an SP3 by the time of, finger delay, brain delay. So here my plan is using my light attacks to give him the minimum power, and to give myself the maximum. Just play it as safe as I can. Right as I get SP2, just gonna throw it. Same thing. This time it's not as bad, but you see, I throw it on his dash in rather than out, and the second SP2 kills again. This champion is way too good. I understand why she's been banned every time. It's kind of crazy thinking about how, like, for previously, she wasn't just, like, always permanently assigned to everything before bans. It's kind of weird. But, like, I guess people ghost-proof maps better and stuff like that. There were reasons. So, changing up masteries because I have my thing fight next for my classic Path 9 Magneto. So yeah, as I was saying, this war going into it was a really big one. We have a lead on everyone still, I believe, but we really wanted to win this war. We need to win this war. Very big one, so a lot of stress. I actually ended up waiting, and I was the final 4 fights for my BG. I knew I wanted to take this all in one boost set, so I could actually have my 200% on for the entire time. So that was just what I was kind of going on. So here, gonna throw on my regen boost. I've kind of decided that it's that or Invul is the one I like the most. It's kind of a toss-up, but the regen's a little bit better because even if I eat anything big from Magneto, like an SP2 or an SP3, Thing's protection will likely trigger. But yeah, so going into this war, a little bit stressed out for this because I hadn't showed the score yet, but we were actually down 1-0 at this point. I don't think there were any other deaths at this point. I think it was just 1-0. But because the boss is actually down, the boss is down, so Conduit's not a thing, so this is not a Conduit Magneto. This is just Path 9 Magneto. which partially gets to my head, because I was thinking about using a new strategy, which is things specials give him a passive, which actually let you do something really cool, which is nullify unstoppable buffs. Or effects, I think just buffs. So I was considering going for an SP1 spam strategy here, and then I'll bait out heavies and I'll take less damage, I'll apply a weakness, stuff like that. But as you can see here, first, his AI goes really, really bad. And then I was having this really bad thought in my head through this fight of, what if while I'm like back against my wall I accidentally like, throw an SP2? So right here, I'm actually playing a lot more aggressive than I typically would to push myself up to an SP3. And then I just start making weird mistakes. Not like mistakes here, but just like cognitive errors, as you're going to see. So like right here, I'm just going to... I was trying to like bait it out. I do bait it out. I get another parry. I don't let those rock stacks give me furies after a split second. And I was just feeling uncomfortable at this point in this fight for literally no reason. Like, I'm at 70% health, he's at 55. I have my rock stacks, everything. He throws that heavy, and I just panic smash my SP3. I don't even know why. His heavy is so easy to dex. It's easier to dex his SP1 technically against the wall, because then you can punish it. But I just smashed my SP3 button. Luckily, I actually did get all the effects of the SP3, which is my double fury potency, and unstoppable and unblockable. So here I'm actually going to use the strategy that I was thinking of. So in just a second here, I'm actually going to throw my SP1. I think I'm going to like parry this, because I want it to be up at 20 rock stacks when you throw it. So right here I'm letting that stack fall off, so I go up to 60. I'm at my 20, and I'm going to throw it, go unblockable of course, because thing, and apply my weakness. So now you see that little reflect, and nullified. Really nice. So now here I'm just going to bait out another heavy, but he just throws a double combo, so I just finish. Yeah, that middle section of that fight, for some reason, I felt super, super uncomfortable. I got really annoyed when that happened, like super annoyed. But yeah, for some reason, I just got really uncomfortable in that middle. That fight took a lot longer than it has in the past. It was just not my cleanest run at that. It was still a good fight. But yeah, for some reason, I was just a little bit nervous on that fight for literally no reason. Yeah, it wasn't even too bad of a finish, just not as nice as I liked. So I ended up not going for a power start 1 here, because this fight will be it's pretty much just build to that SP2. He goes passive there, which is a bit of a pain. Oh, actually I do get the fury there. So here, I literally just need him to come in, and again, I just felt he was a little bit slow, so I decided not to do that, but I got 2 passive furies, my 1 fury, and the SP2 does more than enough just to instantly finish him off. And that is my war. That's my war against New Nation. Just going to move to the end of the boss now, because as I said, I waited until the very end. That was the 50th fight, and as you can see, we did die on the one mini boss here at a very, very close score. And here is the finale. Oh, frick. Yeah. Literally, not like actually as close as a war can get, but pretty much. So 1-2, but we have the time. Or like I've talked about that in the past, where like there's been a close war that we've won, but we also had like the time, where we have like 2 deaths up on them, but we also had the time, so we would have had to die like 3 extra times. Where we had the time here, they cleared a lot of fights very late at the map without dying an extra time, because their first death happened not too far into the war, like around the 70th fight, 70 to 100 fight, I think is where it happened. And they did very well to close out the war here. Very, very well. Super unlucky for us. Very great performance. Honestly, very great performance by us. Very great performance by them. 2-1. I don't know if you can ask for much better of a Masters War for top 3. This is what those wars you want them to look like. You don't like facing off against like second place when you're first place and it being a blowout either way. You just don't like that. This is how that war should go. 7,000 seconds is insane. 8,000 seconds is very, very fast, like insane as well. 1 death, 2 deaths, just an absolutely amazing war. Absolutely GG's to New Nation. They played absolutely phenomenally. They have some really great guys over there, great players, great people. It's a great alliance. Same over here. Yeah, it's a tough war, but that's going to happen, right? So this last week is going to be really, really exciting. I hope to get out some good videos for you guys for this week, and I hope your final week goes well. I'll be seeing you guys soon. Bye.